Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
Oh my God, are you seeing this shit, bro? Tesla closed at $695. What the hell is going on?
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
Now with IBM getting here, I think it's just going to come more to the forefront, and people are going to get more and more eyeballs on Salesforce. Should see a really nice move.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
We got D's nuts in the crew. Every crew needs D's nuts. You know what D's nuts' #1 holding is? Big C.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom.
I do what I want.
It is March 30th, 2021, and the stock market is actually going in the right direction. It finally feels good. Fat Man Zoom, hit him up with the first five.
I will. Those first five. I'm just going to say Nick Tam, Rudy Brown, Sam Cisnero, Don Francho, and a player to be named later. God dang it. What the
player
heck?
to be named later.
I'm so
Rudy
pissed.
Brown. Did you say Rudy Brown?
Rudy Brown. That's
it was
what
Rudy
it was.
Brown.
Rudy Brown.
It was Rudy
Nick
Brown.
Tam, Rudy Brown.
Shout
Sam,
out Rudy
Don
Brown.
Fran.
So we got a pretty good lineup for you today. We got Lululemon, who has earnings today after hours. We also have ARKX,
Arfin.
As you can see on the title, ARKX. We're going to be giving our reactions to that, as well as Tesla finally had a really nice bounce today, and there's some things that might be in the works for them as to why we're seeing a bounce out of that. We're going to get to that in just a second. But first, I want to welcome you guys again to the channel. If you can hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, as well as maybe checking out that join button next to subscribe and becoming part of the crew. For $4.99 a month, you can actually get daily watch lists from us with technical analysis, all that good stuff. 5 stocks a day you get before the market opens. It's an unbelievable value, and it helps support us, the channel, the studio, all that good stuff. We'd love to have you guys as part of the crew.
What do we got on tap today, friend?
ARKX. If you guys recall, on Sunday, we were kind of trying to figure out exactly what the hell happened between Viacom and Baidu and Discovery. A lot of the other Chinese media companies just went absolutely insane. We saw some large blocks selling off from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. And Fat Man Zoom, as I was doing some more research, particularly yesterday, I kind of took me back to my Series 6 and 63 days when I was working for T. Rowe Price and learned that ARKX is actually a family office. Are you familiar with what a family office is?
I am not.
So,
Too focused on Lululemon
I actually
Earnings.
sent you a text that night on Stockwatch Sunday. I was like, this makes no sense. When we started to see just how much ARKX was holding in some of these companies, it was well over 5%. And I was like, what the hell is going on? So turns out they are a family office. And if you're a family office, you don't have to report if you own more than 5% of said stock or company, what have you. And so that's what ended up happening. And I was like, it was really a head scratcher until I was like, it all makes sense now. This guy, his name just escaped me, a brain fart. But this guy basically was running this as a family office. And what a family office is basically, it's almost kind of like a financial firm, but it only caters to friends and family. If you fall under this family office category, you don't have to worry about as many regulations as other institutions and hedge funds do, because you're dealing with other people's money rather than just your family and friends. And so that's basically what ended up happening. This guy ended up over leveraging like crazy on a lot of these stocks. Credit Suisse got in trouble, as well as a couple of other firms that just gave him a bunch of money to leverage. And then the margin call came out, and that's what sent these stocks selling off. The leverage on this was 20 times his capital at the highest. Anywhere between 10 and 20 times leverage. That's insane. And they let this guy just kind of basically run loose on all this stuff, run these stocks all the way up. And then when the margin call came, that's why we saw such a huge tank out of a lot of these stocks. It's an unbelievable thing. There are some people that are really kind of nervous about what might have been happening. Is this going to be a systemic thing, or is this an isolated thing? In my opinion, it looks like this is pretty isolated. Yeah. This is just one big giant asshole who decided to just take a lot of money and throw it all in the trash.
Yeah, it's yeah, I would agree. I don't think this is a systemic issue.
It did spook the markets overall yesterday, though. That was one reason why we saw a little bit of a downturn. People were a little bit afraid of that.
Yeah.
Some of the banks sold off.
Yeah, and I feel like this morning, too, it could have potentially been impacting. So, I mean, it's interesting to see. I mean, the hits keep on coming. But we were talking about overall, so our portfolio, and it's interesting because the markets in the morning have just sort of how they've been playing out has been really interesting. And it's been scary. I mean, Tesla was down below 600 again, pre-market, came roaring back. The Qs in general turned green. I don't know if they're still green. Are they still green?
Yeah, they're still green. Yep.
And a lot of stocks. Penn came back. Penn was below 100. Now it's back over 100. Let's see if it sustains it. But what do you seeing, or what are you anticipating for the market? I mean, is more of this choppiness?
Yeah, we're going to continue to see choppiness. The one thing that I will say is really encouraging, we saw long-term interest rates, 10-year yield, go up to 175 today. Actually, I think it saw it hit 176, 177 at one point this morning. And while there was an initial knee-jerk reaction in tech, the bond yield stayed the same, the 10-year stayed the same, and markets kept on moving. So that's really encouraging because for the better part of 6 weeks, we've been seeing this thing where yields go up, tech gets crushed, and that's just how the game gets played. Today was a little bit of a different story, and so I'm really encouraged by that, but I do still think that we're going to see some choppiness moving forward. Today feels really good. I'm not really holding my breath that this is going to be a long-lasting effect. I think this could be just like a 1, maybe 2 day thing. We'll just kind of see how it goes. But either way, I think putting that video out yesterday about just staying calm and kind of just resting on the stocks that remembering why I got into the stocks that I'm in particular, and staying the course really is starting to pay off today.
Yeah, for sure. I'm about to bring back my shit list. I've wanted to bring it back, but it's about to come back. I'm like,
here we go.
Definitely annoyed right now. What's next on the agenda?
So Tesla, obviously we saw Tesla was making some pretty big moves. You had already mentioned that it was a little bit jumpy, getting down below $600. And I was actually a little bit nervous about it too. Once it broke below $600, looking at the chart, it actually looked to be possibly making its way down to 540. Now that's still very much on the table. That could still happen, even though it's sitting at 632. We know that Tesla has done some crazier things, but it is actually encouraging to see that this is sitting well above 632, at least for the time being. There's a lot of anticipation for deliveries. I actually put out a poll on Twitter. If you guys want to go follow me there, it's at Own the Chaos. Go follow at FatmanZoom as well. But I put out a poll basically asking everybody, we don't know exactly what date they're going to be coming out with these sales numbers, but I asked them, what do we think the Tesla sales numbers are going to come in at? Are they going to come in at the expected number, which is right at 170? Or is it going to be below 150,000? Or are we going to see this at 200,000 plus? Now, on Stockwatch Sunday, I actually said that I thought we could see this at 220, 225. It may have been ambitious, but whatever. I got big balls. We look at something at the poll here. I'm just looking at it. I should be able to show, but it's not. The screen share isn't working. So I'll just shout it out. 18.9% of you guys said less than 150,000. Most of you came in at 56.6% saying right around 170, and 24.5% said greater than 200.
Yeah, it won't be 200. I almost want to make a bet.
106 votes.
You want to bet? Should have a little friendly wager.
It has to be plus or minus 5, I guess. You want to have
5,000?
Yeah, plus or minus 5,000.
I'll give you 190 and above.
190 and above?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take 190 and above. It's a losing bet. I understand. Last time I took a losing bet, it worked out though.
Bet on it.
What are we even betting? What do I have to buy now?
I'll think of a good wager.
Okay. What do you think it come in at 170 or below?
No. I'll take the under.
The under at 190. Okay, yeah. I got you.
But no, I think it'll come. I'll think it'll come around 170. I think it'll be a little bit slightly above. But no, I don't think so. But maybe the loser ends up picking. Maybe the loser ends up having to wear whatever the winner picks. I'm going to go to the thrift store and buy you an outfit for a live stream.
I'm good with that. You know what's interesting? I'm just looking at the indexes right now. The Dow is actually down 75 points. The S&P is down 7 points. And NASDAQ is the only green index today.
Finally.
Yeah.
About damn time.
Yeah.
We need back-to-back of those days.
Yeah. Some other things going on with Tesla, though. So one of the big reasons Tesla had a pretty decent sell-off was there was some confusion surrounding around Elon Musk's messages about the Semi. He said that there was going to be some demand issues or supply issues, I should say, with the battery because of just how much is required to build these semis. And so that could have been one reason why we saw a pretty decent sell-off last night and into this morning. He came out and clarified a lot of that, basically said that there's not really anything to worry about. Looks like we still might be on schedule. And so that is one big reason why Tesla is continuing to move up. The other one, Fat Man Zoom, the other thing that's causing potentially for Tesla to move back up is rumors are flying around Tesla and Toyota right now. So there's a potential partnership between Tesla and Toyota, which is, arguably the largest vehicle manufacturer in the world for an all-electric SUV. And I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why we're seeing Tesla move on top of some of the other things that people are speculating about. But I think that if that ends up happening, that is a huge deal. I think it's probably a bigger deal for Toyota more so than it is Tesla, because if Toyota is going to be able to partner with Tesla on some of their technology and get it even further ahead of some of the other competition, it's going to bode really well for them, but it also continues to add value to Tesla.
Yeah, it does add value that I think from a longer term perspective would pay off for Tesla. For the short term, benefits Toyota for sure. Any company attaching itself to Tesla is going to benefit more than Tesla benefits.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I think what it also does for Tesla is that it actually adds credibility for some of the naysayers that are still out there. Because there's a lot of them still. There's a lot. I was watching CNBC this morning. Somebody was talking about how Tesla could, go back down to 250, and I can't believe that these people still exist. It blows my mind. But I think that just yet again adds credibility to Tesla if Toyota does end up moving forward in a partnership with them. And, almost kind of like welcomes them into the fold, so to speak, from the automotive side of things. But again, everybody keeps talking about the automotive side, which is their biggest moneymaker. But there's so much other things going on, and that's what makes it so hard to evaluate.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't put any stock in the people that go on TV or go on YouTube, whatever, and make these outlandish claims. Because I feel like they're just doing it to try to, they're just being so outlandish that they're just trying to get attention and recognition.
For me, it's like there's two reasons they're doing it. One is so that they could probably try to instill fear in people so they could even get in cheaper themselves. And the other one is that they are so stuck on trying to be right that they're willing to just be as outlandish as possible to just try to continue to try to be right. And instead of just giving in saying, you know what, I messed this up, they're just continuing to dig their heels in and just making them look even more like an idiot.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry. I'm going to pause here. Mr. Alamat, you're a clown, bro. I got to do this for 1 second. I'm taking on the troll, bro. I don't even want to remove you. Don't let him say whatever nonsense he wants to say, because he's just talking trash. And I don't know if you're here just to talk trash and be a clown, but you're being an absolute clown. And I appreciate everybody who has our back, but you don't even need to, because he's ridiculous. Let me tell you this, bro. Not every stock pick is right. So I'm sure since you've been trading since 1994, you've got some sorry-ass stock picks. The average trader, like professional, full-time trader, is like a coin flip, 50% right.
Yeah.
So the fact that we get stuff wrong is normal. So, yes, I'm still in Clove, and you know what? I was just talking to Brad before we went
We were
live,
just talking about Clover.
and I'm about to double down on Clove, fool.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you should, but the fact that you're saying somebody should buy you a free subscription because they recommended it, why would you want a free subscription on people you're trying to mock? And number two, why are you even here? So welcome. I appreciate I think it's cool you're here because you're just firing me up, and I like to get fired up from time to time. But you're a clown, and Abs was right. Before Abs said that you were a clown, I thought you were a clown. You're a clown. I hope you stay here. Just keep spitting on.
We need a clown emoji now.
I know. I'm putting the clown in right now for you. This is for you, sir.
There's got to be some sound bites in the soundboard for you.
I'm just gonna randomly close my eyes and.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I was hoping for the Price is Wrong one, but
oh man, that'd have been.
That's hilarious.
I love you, Mr. Alamout, but you're a clown, bro. Appreciate you. I'm just gonna find the clown. Hey, we gonna spam, bro. That's what we're gonna do. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Ready and go.
Oh my God.
Sorry, my bad. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted, anything else on Tesla?
Nothing else on Tesla, but it's time for the roll call. Where's everybody coming from? We're going to do something new every live stream. We just want to know where you guys are at. We love hearing from everybody from all over the world, even Mr. Alamat, if you are in wherever the hell you're at, some dark hole somewhere. We want to know where you're at. So give us a roll call. Let us know where you're from. We love to hear from you guys from all over the globe, and we're going to get on to the next topic, which actually is going to be ARKX, the title of the video. We're giving our live reaction to ARKX. So ARK Invest, if you guys aren't familiar, very well known for their ETFs involving disruption and innovation. Cathie Wood, CEO of ARK Invest, well known for being one of the biggest Tesla bulls. Today, ARKX is their space exploration ETF that just started trading today. It actually is red, which has kind of been the trend for some of the ARK Invest ones lately. But this is interesting. So the ETF is specifically focused on space exploration and innovation in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, I will say that some of the holdings in here are interesting. Nothing really jumps out to me and surprises me. I was curious as to anything that... Actually, that's not true. Netflix surprises me. I don't know what Netflix has to do with space exploration, but there's a couple of ones in here that were kind of like, I guess there's a stretch, but you could certainly make an argument for some of them. But Netflix was kind of the one that, and now granted, it's all the way down closer to the bottom of the list. It's number 26. But the ETF itself isn't giant yet. Their largest holding is Trimble Inc., that actually is related to geospatial, construction, agriculture, all that kind of good stuff. That's their largest position. It takes up 8.61% of the ETF. They have about $348,000 worth of that, and that is their largest holding. So this is still very small. I'm sure as they get more and more inflows, we'll see more of these types of stocks being bought up. But one thing that really caught my eye, Fat Man Zoom, was their number 12 holding. And that is Spirit Air System. So I feel pretty good about that. Spirit Air System is on there is number 12. Boeing is number 10. Those two definitely make a lot of sense. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I did a video this morning on the Fat Man Zoom YouTube channel, if you guys want to check it out. But I had mentioned it just to see the reaction as the market opened.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about space exploration. I don't have any interest in trying to learn a lot more. So it's something that I would be interested in getting in because I do trust Aunt Cathie.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting into it. But if I wanted to get exposure to space exploration, I would take this. This is something that I would certainly invest in. But looking at the holdings, I don't love how it's laid out, to be honest with you. Like, some of them don't make sense.
Yeah.
Again, we've talked about Spirit and Boeing.
Yeah.
I don't think you need both of them in there. And I see a lot of that, like a couple stocks where I'm like, why don't they just pick one, in my opinion, just one of the stocks?
Yeah.
So I didn't love that, sort of how it's diversified. The other thing that stood out, the number 2 holding is their own ETF.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me just double check that. Their number 2 holding is actually, according to this, and this is in the prospectus, the 3D printing company, the 3D printing ETF.
Which I'm pretty sure
PRNT.
Oh, no, it's not their ETF. So it's weird they had an ETF in there. For some reason, I thought they had their own ETF in there. I could be wrong. But, you look, it has Airbus, Boeing, Spirit. To me, I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But
JD.com, JD.com is in there as number 5.
What I was also going to get your opinion on was, did you notice that Workhorse was in there?
I did notice that Workhorse is in there. I also noticed that what was the other one that I thought was kind of weird? JD was one of them that I thought was kind of weird. Alibaba is in there, which I thought was kind of weird. But there's ones that do make sense. You have Virgin Galactic, Honeywell,
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, and Amazon is involved in space exploration, in case you guys didn't know. So there are some ones that do make sense, but yeah, there was definitely some head scratchers in here for sure. I don't know if that was just like a placeholder, like they just want to make sure they had somewhere close to 40 positions, and so they just kind of like, well, we'll just stick this in here for now, and then move it when they find something that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. Some of it seems weird.
Yeah, we'll see how it evolves, and what other stocks they add to it, and how their positions grow. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But it's cool. I think, again, this is just kind of trying to get attention. As a company, I think it's good because it just sort of keeps you top of mind, get people to talk about you. And
yeah, they can at least have exposure to this field. Who knows how big it's going to get, but maybe they made this ETF in preparation for something like a SpaceX that has been kind of teased about going public, or Starlink or something like that. So maybe that's why. And we all know how Cathie feels about those two companies, and so maybe as things evolve and as inflows come into this ETF, we could start to see more buying up of stuff either related to that, or one that comes out and goes public. Then you can bet that they'll probably be scooping up a shit ton of those shares.
Yeah, for sure. And yes, 3D printing ETF is by ARK.
It is, okay.
Yeah. So it's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
So anyways, that's what we got as far as that's concerned. As we wind down to the bell, and if you want to check out a couple tickers, if you want to see we'll get into that. Lululemon Earnings is after hours.
Yeah.
We're going to do the earnings reaction. Arfon is itching, or chomping at the bit, I should say, to try to beat me, and I might just let him win. I may not even try to look at the numbers, but we're going to go ahead and once the market closes, we'll look at the reaction for Lululemon Earnings. I'm excited about that. First, did you want to talk about McCormick earnings that happened this morning pre-market?
Yeah, so McCormick did come out with earnings, and they actually crushed them. They knocked them out of the park. Ticker symbol MKC, and I know this one isn't all that sexy, and I kind of mentioned that on Stockwatch Sunday, but I did say that they were going to beat. And it's been coming down all day today, but their outlook was absolutely phenomenal. They came in and beat 72 cents versus their 58 cents, I think it was 58 cents expectation. And so they did really well here. And I had mentioned that I was concerned. The concern could be that if we are starting to see a reopen, that McCormick could come out and not really have a great outlook because they might be concerned with people not cooking as much at home and all that good stuff. And that was the exact opposite as far as their outlook is concerned. They said that they were looking to actually do very well this year and going into next year. So I was really encouraged by McCormick. And the only reason that I'm encouraged by this is because we saw stuff from like Williams-Sonoma and Restoration Hardware. A lot of the stay-at-home plays still have really great outlooks. And so that, in my opinion, just really bodes well for a lot of the stay-at-home plays that has kind of gotten us here, and the remote work plays. A lot of people have been abandoning these, but if the outlooks here on some of these plays are really high, then I would imagine that we're going to start to see some more of that moving forward, and kind of goes to some of our arguments that we've been making about how remote work is here to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people's consumers' behaviors as far as it's concerned to eating out and hospitality, I think it's going to be a little slower than people anticipate.
Yeah.
First off, it's taking longer for them to get to 100% full capacity in general.
Yeah. So
these restaurants can't even get there. But on top of that, when you think about just some people not getting vaccinated, is one consideration. And then other the other piece of that is even when you do, there's still going to be people that they've been so used to social distancing and spacing out. I think it's going to take time for them to get back to the point pre-COVID where like you were just assholes to elbows.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that too. And I mean, who knows? Maybe, over the course of the year, there can be an argument be made that people actually have picked up cooking and really enjoy it, and they're just going to stick to doing it. And so I think there's probably a larger amount of people that are in that boat than we might realize. So yeah, that was McCormick. I was really encouraged by that. So if you guys are looking at some of those remote plays and seeing how far they've come down, I think there's definitely a case to be made to potentially scoop some up and just kind of tuck it away for now while everybody's kind of chasing the banks and cyclicals and all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. How's Tesla sitting?
Tesla is still above 630, sitting at 632.36. Not quite the high of the day. I think it was around 635, but it's still up 3.5% on the day. So I feel really good about it.
The other thing I wanted to just talk about just to see is how the banks are doing today.
The banks should be down today, I would imagine, just based off of what I saw with the Dow today. But let's take a look. Now, Goldman Sachs is actually still up 1.6%, and JP Morgan. So these are our two. Would you say that these are our two favorite banks to consider investing in? So yeah, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they're both actually still up. JP Morgan's up 1%.
Okay.
This actually, obviously, they benefit from the rise in rates. You had mentioned too this morning for our Chaos Crew watch list, folks, that there's going to be potential buybacks as well as with dividends coming out, dividend increases coming out for Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan because of the restrictions that they're still under from the Fed. So if the Fed releases them from those restrictions, we could actually see these banks go even higher than where they are now. And we're at decade highs here.
Yeah, we're looking, the key date for you guys that are interested is June 30th. So June 30th, banks will go through a stress test.
Yeah.
And as long as they pass that stress test, then they can, they'll be allowed to declare dividends again and offer share buybacks.
Yep.
And so that's going to be an interesting date. Now, if they don't pass the stress test, then it's September 30th.
Yeah.
So looking at the one I have on my eye on that'll be interesting as well is Fargo, because I want to see if it passes the stress test. I think it will, and I think it could be a short-term pop for that. But like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs shouldn't have any issue passing that. And so June 30th is that date. But again, we talk about this with the market. By the time June 30th comes, it's going to be too late.
Yeah, for sure.
Figure out what stocks you like, what you want to be in, and I think there'll be good opportunities for that. Now, what time frame until they announce what dividends they're going to declare and buybacks? How long does that take? Do they do it right at the beginning of July, or do they wait? Because that's when the pop's going to come for the individual stocks that are saying, hey, this is, we're going to buy back shares. We're going to offer dividends. So that'll be a really good time for the banks and hopefully for the market as a whole.
As far as I'm concerned with the banks, I think I'd still rather err to the side of caution of more along the lines of like investment banking versus something like a Wells Fargo that has exposure to mortgages and that sort of thing.
Yep.
But they're all probably going to move regardless. I'm just wondering, like, when the eviction what they got extended. Moratorium got extended to September, if I'm not mistaken, I think, right?
I believe so.
So I mean,
July
that's
or September. I don't actually.
Either way, it's in the summer or near the end of the summer. So I think that definitely could play a factor to some of the banks that have exposure to mortgages and that sort of thing.
Oh, June 30th, which I guess is the same date.
Oh, I thought that I got extended past June, but okay, yeah. So Charlie is saying June as well. So thanks, Charlie. But yeah, so I think that there's definitely inherent risk with that on banks have exposure to that sort of thing. But
I would, and listen, Wells Fargo is at the bottom of my list, just to clarify. I would even say Bank of America would be before. If you're looking at exposure to mortgages, Bank of America would be one of those companies that I would take before Wells Fargo. When you look technically, there's huge upside for Wells Fargo, but there's a reason why it's down there. And when you look at fundamentals, Wells Fargo is at the bottom of the pack.
Their leadership sucks.
Yeah, and so I know some of you guys are scared or have talked about Goldman Sachs is at over $300, JP Morgan at $150. The reality is fundamentally they still are like far better than Wells Fargo fundamentally.
Yes. 100%.
So the market is now closed. As we prepare for Lululemon to release the numbers, let's just set it up for you guys. So earnings estimate, we've covered this in Stock Watch Sunday, $249 a share. I have them beating. We both have them beating. You said $254. I have them considerably beating. It seems like a lot, but it's actually only a 20% increase, $2.98. Brad, you were a little skeptical on this, but what I said about this stock is I don't really care too much about them beating.
Yeah.
What I really care about is the next 2 quarters are historically slow. I am hoping that they give guidance $1 per share each of the next 2 quarters, which I think will set this off because they're usually about 20 to 30% below that.
Yeah.
But I think they may see that volume. And I also talked about really can they keep the e-commerce pace while they're reopening? Yep. And lastly, mirror sales and new revenue streams. That mirror product was a $500 million acquisition. They're expecting it to be $150 million worth of revenue this year, which their fiscal ends this year.
Yeah.
What do they project that guidance out? If they can project double that next year, which I'm just shooting, random numbers out there. If they can do that, that's huge things for this company. So that's what I'm looking at for Lululemon.
Yeah. What's up, Felicia? Felicia in the house. Red Bull Felicia is in the house. She was my very first Chaos Crew member.
What up, Felicia? Yeah, she was over at Fan Man Zoom channel, too.
She just loves us some Own the Chaos.
I'm going to get on the old Twitterverse.
So we are awaiting right now. What you're looking at on your screen is the intraday chart for Lululemon.
Oh, I got the numbers.
I was going to say, did you get them before Arfin?
Getting Arfin.
Say what? Oh, yeah, Chewie's today, too. Is it correct? Is that correct, Chewie's today? Or was it
yeah, it is today. Yep. Chewie's today. They have earnings, and their earnings are a loss of 10 cents. I had them beating a loss of 5 cents. You had them a loss of 7 cents.
7, that's what I thought. Yeah, so right now, Chewie is up.
And I love Chewie.
Just under 1% after hours. And looking at Lulu, and it is at 0.3% after hours as well. So no real reaction so far. Just pretty typical after hours trading up to this point. Felicia did mention, she said Wells Fargo was so horrible to small businesses during the PPP. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but that sucks if that's true.
Well, so sorry, I thought that was something else. Wells horrible with them in what way?
I don't know.
All right, I'm on Twitter and I'm waiting.
Right now, Chewie is up 1.5% after hours. So some pretty strong movement out of this so far. Today's high was 81.66. Right now it's sitting at 81.10. So we'll see if it actually breaks over the high of the day today. Looking at Lulu, it is up about 0.5%, so still climbing. Still slow climb here on Lulu, but Chewie is definitely getting some action here right now. Got 160 of you guys hanging out in here. Thanks so much for spending your afternoon with us. If you give us a thumbs up, we got 40 likes. So we get that up. We certainly would appreciate that. And yeah, Chewie's still climbing here. Ooh, here we go. It's up. It just broke over the high of the day today. So interesting stuff here. Now Chewie is at 81.82.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet, but looking like there's something brewing here. Appreciate the likes, guys. Thanks so much for, like I said, hanging out. So just kind of, if you're just tuning in, we're giving our live reaction right now. We went over a bunch of stuff before the market closed, including the ARKX saga, Tesla, and the ARKX stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you're going back and watching that. But right now, we're giving our live reactions to Chewie after hours earnings as well as Lululemon. Right now, they're both just trading slightly into the green after hours. Still have no word on official numbers just yet. Well, Fat Man Zoom is on the case. He'll get those to you as soon as we get them. Just kind of looking at some of the other stuff after hours. Facebook actually ended up closing red. Google actually ended up closing red. They're both slightly red. But the FANGs have just been kind of a bit, how do I put this, detached from each other a little bit. Facebook and Google have kind of been leading the charge. As I'm speaking, though, Chewie has really started to go off. It just shot up over 4% after hours, and now looks like there's some stops maybe getting triggered here, but it is it's on a tear right now. $83.94, $84 a share as it is right now. It is rolling right now.
Yeah, we actually just filmed the top stocks for April, which we'll release tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll be in there in the chat talking with you guys. But we got 2 FANGs in there.
Yeah.
2 FANGs in the top 10 stocks for April. So, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Put on the notification bell if you want to get notified when the video will come out. And it'll be a premiere, so you'll be able to talk with us, chit-chat. Maybe Mr. Alamat will be in there, too, to talk a little trash, a little verbal jabbery.
Chewie is really looking good here after hours. Looks like Arfin might have beaten you. According to Arfin, we have quarter 4 adjusted EBITDA at 60 point.
Loss of 9 cents a share. Lost 9 cents a share. They beat $2.04 billion versus $1.96 billion.
There you go. Loss of 9 cents a share compared to the street estimate of what, 10? Loss of 10 cents.
10.
So a small beat, but looking like a lot of people are really loving the news here. Outlook must be great in that report. Looking at Lululemon, still trading. It's been kind of.
Got it. Got the numbers for Lulu. Where you at, Arfin? Sucker. They beat $2.58 a share. $2.49 was the estimate. Sales, they beat revenue. 1.73 is what they came in at. Estimates were 1.66 billion.
Arfin, I think, probably has Bloomberg, which I do not because I'm cheap like that.
Did he have revenue when he gave his numbers?
Yes, he did. Lululemon is actually looking great right now. It's up 1.5%. It's over the high of the day today. In today's during hours, today's trading during market open, and Chewie's still looking great. It's up 3.2%. So these are both beats. We both accurately predicted these. Feel really good about them.
Yeah, I'm so glad I beat Arfin. Where is Vinay? I'm wondering. Arfin, you slipping, bro? Arfin, you slipping?
You definitely lost Arfin.
I know. Listen, I can too. I'll sit here.
Yeah.
Or I'll let him sit here, and then I'll just sit back and just wait for freaking updates.
Yeah. Do you want to work for us, Arfin?
No. You can take my seat, Arfin. And I'll just sit behind a computer and just chill. No, he's going to beat me. I know he's going to beat me. He's got that cheat code. Up, down, left, right, left, right. I know it. I've used it. 1989, boy. The year I was born. Anyways, what's next?
That was not the year he was born. So what are your thoughts on these? So Chewie blowing it out of the water. You had mentioned about Chewie, and it's up 4.5% now after hours. This thing is ripping. Out. This thing is ripping. You had talked about how the increase in spending on pets and consumers has just gone absolutely insane. And this has always been something that nobody's been surprised about, but it's just continuing to grow like mad. You had some stats on Stockwatch Sunday. Do you recall any?
Yeah. It's outpacing annual income by double.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was, I believe it was 23% annual income over the past 5 years has increased, and spending on pets has increased by 50%. The other thing is, I said for this year, spending on pets could be $100 billion. I believe that's a realistic number. But the big thing that I pointed out as far as was specific to Chewy was their auto ship program, which was used by 69% of its customers, which is just a huge number. It's recurring revenue. It's what we talk about, a subscription-based recurring revenue model is just huge for these companies.
Yeah.
So I love this company. And I said it was a great asymmetrical trade opportunity. I thought it had 5% downside and 25% upside. We'll see how it goes.
It's now up over 5% after hours. Yeah, man, and the automatic renewal that increases their profit margin significantly when you don't need somebody in there just going around and worrying about it. Like and
it's not a big discount. It's like I think it's like a 5%, something small, like a nominal discount that they even get.
Right. So that's wild. Lululemon's still struggling to stay green here after hours after beating on earnings. We'll wait to see what their report looks like, and we can chat about that maybe later on in the week if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, Chewie is the big winner today so far. It's up 5%, looking really, really good here. Hopefully some of you guys are able to get into some of that. But that's yeah,
all we got.
That's all we got, guys.
I wasn't born in 1999. I was kidding. Appreciate you guys again. Like and subscribe. If you guys want to get our daily watch list with our 5 stocks, it's free. Go to onlychaos.com. We put out a watch list every day there. If you want to join the crew, get those cool bulls and bears, join our Discord and chat with us. Among other things, click the join button next to the chat.
That's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button before you head out the door, and that's going to do it for me.
What up, Vinay?
Fat Man Zoom.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.